inconvenience this may cause, and thank the general public for their understanding and cooperation. So this is an important notice. Tomorrow, Friday, from between the hours of 6 a.m. and 6 p.m., the traffic will be closed to the traffic access will be closed between the areas of Central Street and Rosemary Lane, and so you are asked to consider alternative routes during this time. All right, and so today we want to continue because today begins the first day of the St. Kitts Nevis Music Festival, and I know that there is a lot of anticipation, excitement, and anxiety in the air. People are looking forward. Those persons who are patrons are looking forward to their favorite artists, are in high anticipation as to their patronage later this evening. And so it's important with that anticipation that you are being reminded of some of the traffic management measures that are in place. So without any further ado, I will turn over to WPC Sheraton, and she will go back over some of these important traffic management areas, and especially we will highlight as well some already in violation that we have been observing. And so we want to really appeal to the general public that our intention is not to penalize persons, but at the same time we have to enforce the safety measures. WPC Libert?
Good morning. Thank you, Mr. Maguire. Thank you to those persons who are listening. Good morning to you who are listening to us via social media. Like Sergeant Maguire said, we just want to reinforce some information that we would have brought to you before, and to give you some new information, some of the questions that persons would have posed that we weren't sure about. And so we have gotten the information on those, and so we're going to make sure that we give you all of the information that is needed. Like Mr. Maguire said, last evening we worked at the market,
night market.
The night market. Mm-hmm. And it's amazing to see that traffic cones were in place, traffic signs were in place, and persons were not observing the signs. Persons had the audacity to go to the sign and say, "Oh, I did not see it." And so here it is, that music festival, the night has not begun yet, and persons already start violating. And so we are seeking the general public to just follow the rules, the regulation, the guidelines, the marking, and that is the reason why we are so much in trying to make sure that persons understand that once signage is in place, you follow the signage in accordance to what it says. No entry, no entry. No right turn, no right turn. No left turn, no left turn. Easy, and everybody will be happy.
And up at Palms Court.
Yes, there was the express event last evening at Palms Court, and it's amazing to see persons park
in the stop
sign. There is a stop sign, and vehicles are parking exactly directly in the stop sign, and there is the word stop. Now, what does stop mean? And you can see it's a stop sign, but persons just want to be ignorant to the law. And so we are asking the general public, especially those rental companies, those persons who are renting vehicles, whether it's a vehicle that has an R on it, or P or PA, please to be mindful that there are those of you who are coming in from overseas, and even some persons who live here. Some persons will say, "Oh, I am not aware." But as long as you see the sign that says no parking, stop sign, how can you look at a stop sign and park directly in a stop sign?
What was interesting, Donnelly, that even at the night market last night when we stopped one driver and I asked him, didn't you see the sign? He said, oh, I didn't see the sign. I'm from Nevis. So the signs are different in Nevis.
And we are one federation.
I just don't, I just cannot understand the kind of justification that people give for their violation. And we are going to strictly enforce. In fact, I had an interaction later earlier today, and by we not putting the action in place by towing the vehicle that was in the stop, I was admonished by my superior, and so the thing about it is that we can't afford to come and say, well, this is going to happen, and people are still getting away, having so blatantly ignoring the things, the measures that are put in place. And so we are really appealing. We are not out to make money. We are not out to inconvenience anybody. But it's the blatant disregard for the measures in relation to safety. Because just remember, when you parked your vehicle in a position, it creates another not only obstruction but inconvenience to other motorists. And so not only think about yourself, think about other drivers and persons who are walking on the road. And so I know sometimes we like to go to places at the last minute and then
find there with a good parking
and then
think
we just any little space we see, we think that it is an opportunity to really occupy it. And I usually say, you're not special that a space is just left reserved for you. It means therefore that there might be some reason behind why it is vacant. It's not because that it is available. It might create some kind of obstruction, and so don't see it as an opportunity to park. And so please, you hear how much Officer Maguire is begging? Because come tonight, the tow truck will be working hard if they are violators.
Yes. So yesterday on our radio program, we would have indicated about the parking on Beach Allen playing field, and so now we want to make the general public know that it's public parking. Right. General public parking will be done at the Beach Allen playing field. Just
that question was asked yesterday, and so we would have verified the information. So the Beach Allen area, the field will be utilized as a general public parking, and so anybody, once the space is available, you can utilize the space. However, we can confirm that the Hasford Value Mart parking lot is exclusively for the White Sand VIP patrons. So the Hasford Value Mart parking lot will be utilized for the White Sand VIP patrons.
There will be no parking, absolutely no parking around the venue. Lozak Road, there will be limited parking. There will be no parking on Bird Street to the general public. On Hart Street, there will also be no parking on East Park Range, and that NHC road that travels from NHC, you can make an exit to either New Pond side or Wellington Road. There will also be absolutely no parking on Victoria Road. Last evening, a taxi guy would have approached me and asked about the taxi parking, and his question was, Officer, what happens when a taxi driver parks his vehicle in the taxi stand and he has permission because he's taxi and he
Gone to the show
all evening? How do you rectify something like that? For persons like me who will be working, you take up 2 spaces, 3 spaces, gone to the show all evening, and I am here working and can't get a parking space. And Officer Maguire, can you assist me in how we can deal with a situation like that?
Well, the thing about it, we are appealing to the taxi operators. Yes, the taxi stand is allocated for vehicles, taxi, to utilize parking. But when we say that, we actually intending for operating taxi drivers, not for you to use it as your parking lot. If you intend to go to the show, please park in the public parking that is allocated. And so to avoid any inconvenience, I'm not sure if we would utilize any towing, but what we are asking for your cooperation, not because, well, I have a taxi, I'm a taxi driver, and so they say park in the taxi stand, so I park and I go on to the show. No. We are asking for your understanding. If you are not operating, you do not intend to ploy your trade during the music festival, utilize the public parking.
And we would have officers working in that area to monitor, to make sure that persons doesn't violate.
And that's a good question from the person.
Yes. And I applauded him for asking that question because it raised some concern.
Yes.
However, remember we would have said in our previous program that there will be shuttle service at the Port Zante, the UDC parking on the eastern side and the western side. And the eastern side, that is persons who will be driving from the Birdwalk area, the shuttle service will be on the inside of the UDC's parking on the opposite side of the taxi stand. There will be an officer there to guide people as to where the shuttle area is.
Right.
And on the western side, the shuttle service will be just on the opposite side of Rams. There will also be another officer there for persons can see where and how to get on with the shuttle service.
Yeah, one of the things I want to say too with regards to Taylor's Range, because I realize that we have cones in Taylor's Range, but the entire area, the majority of the area, there is yellow line. So I'm going to ask, in the event that the cones are removed, please comply with the yellow line, because the thing about it, even if yellow lines, we may, because of a wider span that we have to cover in terms of traffic restrictions, we may have to utilize the cones in areas that are required them. And so if in the event that these areas, so please pay attention to the restrictive areas that we are seeing. And even if there isn't any cone in place or traffic signage, once there is a yellow line, please comply with the yellow line. Yes, so it's important to mention that, Donnelly.
Yes, because we remember that we have our ticket writers who will be in place to put ticket on those vehicles and to tow those vehicles that would be violating our laws.
And we will not be responsible, as somebody was telling me when I was coming in, well, people will utilize the Uber service. So I said, well, that's good, because it means that some other person will get some business. But we will not be responsible for if your vehicle is towed and then you cannot get access to the Defense Force camp to get your vehicle once you pay. Because as we would have mentioned yesterday, that it's a military base, and they have their policy and the different rules in terms of access, and they are saying that at certain time of the day they will not want to have the public access in their premises unless it is lighted area, so 6 o'clock. And so this should be enough a deterrent for you not to violate, because there is no likelihood that even when you are being towed and you would have paid the towing fee, that you will still have access to your vehicle before 6 o'clock in the morning. So that is important to take note of. Also, we are reminding you that parking on 4th Street is on the eastern side only, and so there will be signage in terms that will say no parking on the other side. So we are taking the time out to highlight all these areas so that persons can know exactly the areas that are restricted. What we are going to do, Donnelly, at this time, we will take a break, and then when we come back, we will deal with the interior of the venue. Yes. We will talk about the prohibited items. We will talk about the credited areas who have access to where and so on, and even the food court and what will happen on the inside.
At The Cable, we believe in giving back because when our community thrives, we all do. That's why, as a company, we make it our mission to touch the lives of everyone in St. Kitts. We spearheaded the renovation of JNF Hospital lobby to ensure better care for all. The Cable sponsors free Wi-Fi in every community center across St. Kitts, so no one is left behind in an increasingly connected world. We stand with communities through every moment, big or small, in culture, education, youth development, and more. Y a ti también, comunidad latina. Cuenta con nosotros. Estamos con ustedes. And when it comes to customer service, we set the standard. We're just a call, click, or visit away because you matter to us. Join the company that truly cares. The Cable, more than service. We're family. Somos familia. And we're proud to always give more where it matters.
Water is life, 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 life. Water is life, 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 life. Do just one thing,
Every job comes. Make sure you check for leaks around your house every day. Every job comes. When brushing your teeth, don't let the water run away. Come save the water, preserve the water right now. Whenever you take in your shower, every drop counts. They saving the water, your business every hour. The water, the water, the water, the water right now. It's up to me and you and you and you and you. The water right now.
do just one thing.
This is my land, my island, our home. The climate has changed, it's becoming strange. We have to come together to keep her forever resilient and strong. We need slow stabilization, forest rehabilitation. Come together as a nation for drought and flood mitigation. Development with policies and plans. Let's change our ways, protect our lands. Get involved, every child, woman and man. Island resilience has got the plan. This is my land, my island, our home. It's time to come together to keep her forever resilient and strong.
Island Resilience, promoting a climate of change. The Climate Change Adaptation and Sustainable Land Management Initiative of the OECS Commission, funded by the European Union.
It's in the feeling in our we talk. It's in the meaning in our spot. It is the thing that sets us apart. Who we are. 'Cause the rhythm of life keeps pumping. Together going strong. No matter what, we keep things flowing. Before we will go all in. Our hands up in the sky.
Yes, welcome back. And as we continue the interaction, if you have any question or anything that you want to contribute to the discussion, feel free to call. And the number is...
Pardon me, sorry. 465-1977 and 1903 and 662-8674. Once again, that's 465-1977 and 1903 and 662-8674.
Right. So while you're getting ready to go to music festival from this evening, I want to remind you of some of the prohibited items. And so items such as backpacks, large bags, recording devices, selfie sticks, no outside food or beverages, no metal or glass bottles or flask, no pepper spray, no laptops or tablets, firearm, knives, anything that considered a weapon. And so for the licensed firearm holders, if you can take your firearm to the Bathia police station for safety, but you will not be allowed to enter the venue with your firearm if you are licensed firearm holder. No illegal drugs, but I must say here, in particularly cocaine, ecstasy, but marijuana, of course, you have once you have the required amount, and the required amount, I'm advised that you can have 5 rolls, and you use that at the 420 venue, but you will not be allowed to enter with any other illegal substance. No aerosol spray or flammable liquid, no flashlights or lasers, no horns, no noise-making devices, no coolers. You will not allow to enter barefooted or bare chest. Mm-hmm. So you have to dress nicely. So even though it is a party and a reveling, you can't come without shirt or barefooted. We have a call, GQ. All right, we'll take the call. Hello. We lost the call. All right. No drones, no animals, no outside pamphlets, and of course, no mask. All right. No mask, but in the case of surgical mask, because we know that there will be medical persons available in the event of any medical emergency. It's important also that we emphasize the emergency route, Donnelly. Yeah, the emergency route.
Yes, mm-hmm. The emergency route from the venue will be you come out of the venue and you enter onto Victoria Road and you make a right onto Keon Street, and that will take you all the way to the General Hospital.
Yes. All right, we have another call, GQ. All right, so while we on that, so those are the restricted items that you will not be allowed to enter with. We want to emphasize as well the designated area for that is called the 420 area is for persons who are smoking, and smoking includes cigarette smoking, marijuana smoking, any kind of smoking, even if you're vaping. That is the area designated for you, and you will not be allowed to be among the non-smoking patrons. You would not be allowed to be in the area that is not designated for smoking. Also, you will not be allowed. There are certain areas that are designated, and unless you have the accredited access, you will not be allowed in those areas. So if you don't have accredited passes, then you should not venture into the areas that will I'll give you access only by accreditation. In relation to the food court area, we know that as it has been, we have a call. We'll take the call right now. GQ. Yes. Hello.
You want to ask a question, right?
Yes.
When it touch up, I pull you away, and you hear it pull you away. You could pay the touch up one time on the spot instead of going all the way at defense force.
Well, we will not encourage that because the thing about it is that you will be ticketed as well, and you can pay the ticket on the spot. The ticket.
You have to pay a ticket first and then pay.
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm
but when you get your ticket, you know hold your ticket for the next morning. You pay the touch up man, and then you pay your ticket when the morning broke.
We will not encourage persons to pay the tow truck on the spot, right? We will not encourage that, and it's a good question, and this is why we're taking so much time out to encourage persons not to find themselves in that position, because it's not like a case where the tow truck is in operation and you're going to come and say, oh, and then the police go say, okay, no. Once the tow truck don't start, defense force camp. And then the other procedure follows after. You come to the traffic department, you pay for the cost of the towing, you are given a receipt, and you have that receipt as your to show to the defense force when you come, and so that you can have access to your vehicle. And so please avoid that major inconvenience by complying with the traffic measures that are in place. Also reminded that parking will not be allowed around the Basde Police Station area on Bird Street and Hart Street. And there will be, if you happen to turn onto Bird Street, you will have to exit on King Street. You won't be able to come further up to Lozak Road for both Bird Street and Hart Street. Donnelly, talk about the vendors in terms of vending, the timings, the drop-off, and Lozak Road.
Yes, and as you speak, there was an outside vendor who's trying to reach me to find out about the outside vending, and so we want to let the general public know that there will be absolutely no vending around the perimeter of the music festival event. There will be no vending on Lozak Road. There will be no vending on Victoria Road. Mm-hmm. Also, we want to speak to
neither East Park Range.
Neither East Park Range, and so we want to those persons who has a tendency of coming onto Lozak Road and saying to the officer, oh, I have something to drop off for one of the boxes on the upstairs. You are to come along Lozak Road, make a right onto Victoria Road, and enter the Marathon Gate, and you go inside, and the instruction will be given to you as to how you proceed to get upstairs with the stuff that you want to offload. There is going to be a replenishing time, the time for persons to have all their food and drinks and have their bars packed and everything. Mr. Maguire, the event starts at 7. I am not certain at that first operational time. I know the replenish time would be between 11:30 and midnight, but from the very beginning of the show, I am not certain what time the music festival committee has given persons to have their bars packed and persons with their food and so on for that particular timing. Right. But the replenishing time between 11:30 and 12 midnight is your replenishing time, and so persons who are in the habit of not going accordance with, we are letting the general public know that there will be strict rules and measures in place for persons who do not want to adhere to the instructions given. Persons who are dropping off persons on Victoria Road, please to be mindful that you are given the permission to drop off, but please stay as close as possible to the left,
right,
so that the traffic can flow freely for persons who are traversing onto Victoria Road up to make their exit onto Taylor's Range.
Right, and they have to keep in mind that Lozak Road might be heavily utilized by pedestrians.
That's very true,
because
yes.
most people, because the entrance is on Lozak Road, it will be heavily utilized by pedestrians, and that is one of the reasons why we are limiting as much as possible vehicular traffic, so that we don't have that constant interaction between the pedestrian and vehicles. But if for some reason you are at the point of dropping off, you have to be mindful and make sure you do not stop in a position that it can really create any kind of obstruction.
Mr. Maguire, we have persons that I would have seen in the past, persons who come to the venue, that area, that same area where ticket is being sold, that area where you enter onto the premises, that's the opposite side of the football house, that parking lot area. Normally you would see somebody may come with a cooler or 2 coolers or 3 coolers and have place themselves in the position in that area. Once you were not given permission to do that, please to take note that that will not be allowed.
Right, and as we're talking about the vending, the parking for the vending is at the old boys school.
That's correct.
For the vendors.
Yes.
At the old boys school. We will not be restricting parking along Seaton Street and those
and Navy Street.
But parking will be done only on one side of the road. That will be available as well, Seaton Street and Navy Street, for residents and other persons where available parking might be. So keep in mind these areas. The key about it is you have to get there early.
First come.
And so if parking is done on a first come, first served basis. For the shuttle buses, the shuttle will start from 6 p.m.
That's correct.
Those who are parking down and utilize both parking at the UDC, whether it's on the western side or on the eastern side. If there are persons who want to utilize available spaces, like somebody was asking yesterday about the Anglican churchyard, those are not allocated parking up at the basketball court and so on. Those are not allocated parking. However, if you want to park, you're parking at your own risk because they're not lighted, it doesn't mean that your vehicle will be unattended, the police will be on patrol, but you're doing so at your own risk. And if there are cones in place, you cannot remove the cones to enter in or to get to where you want to park. But if there are spaces like those areas, you do so, but you do so at your own risk. Nonetheless, there will be a police presence around the entire venue.
And there are persons who will be parking on different streets. You have Market Street, you have College Street. Remember, you're given permission to park on College Street, not the lower portion, not parking in the area allocated for the buses. Please to make sure that when you park your vehicles that you properly park. Some person just want to just push into a spot, notwithstanding that there is still traffic violation once they're not properly parked. Those persons who are in the habit of blocking persons' gateway, please to desist from doing that. vehicles will be towed once that happens. You have areas like the FSRC building, areas like the old courthouse building. You have persons who have their garages. Please to make sure that you do not park in front of these areas. Also in front of the Anglican church. Persons make sure that when you're parking, that bearing in mind that persons must have access to their residence and also to their areas of maybe workplace or church. Bear that in mind.
And that includes, the street along NHC.
Yes.
Absolutely no parking on that street because the traffic will be diverted. Those, the traffic that is traversing southward along East Park Range, you cannot go down to Lozak Road. You have to take a left onto the road at NHC, and so there will be no parking on that street at any time. And also, if you're allowed to park in the other residential area, I forget what that area is.
Which one?
When you turn up the
New
street,
Pan site?
New Pan site,
Yes.
you can park, and as WPC Libert said, please park without inconvenience in residence. And we have a call? We lost the call. All right.
So I want to speak to the general public again, and we would have spoken about this yesterday, about persons who do not have the correct driver's license, and we've been experiencing that. And last evening again, we had that issue again. Persons who are driving
without driver's
license, valid driver's license, and on your American driver's license. As long as you have a driver's license from the United States of America, you must obtain a driver's license from the Traffic Department or the Inland Revenue Department. Those of you who have your rental businesses done with TDC.
We have a call. Yes. Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning, Sergeant Maguire and WPC Life.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm seeing something here. And what I'm seeing is that, yes, traffic rules and regulation definitely are in place, but something to me is missing. Let us look at the criminal aspect of it.
Okay.
With the vehicles parking far from the people who go into the show, I would like to suggest that police should be patrolling all the areas, College Street, Market Street, all over, in order to avoid malicious damage to the people, to the person's vehicles.
Right. Yes, caller. We are very cognizant of that because even though we might be emphasizing the immediate surrounding areas of the venue, we are, as much as possible, want to decrease any opportunity for criminals to take advantage of. So we will be patrolling, and while we're patrolling, we not only will be patrolling the immediate area, the surrounding areas, and the outskirts of the venue as well. So police will be in place, and other officers, security officers, and so we want not only police officers to be obeyed, but the security officers as well, because we are working together. Whether it is Defense Force, whether it is the private security, or the traffic wardens, island constables, we are tasked with the measure of security, and so then any instruction given, then you are expected to comply with those directives.
Beautiful, in full force.
Yes.
In full force.
Yes.
Beautiful. Thank you much, brother.
Right.
Thank you, caller.
No more call. All right. So we we are just going to use the time and wrap up.
Yes, so for me, I am a stickler to making sure that persons abide when it comes to driver's license, because I'm a driver and I want to make sure that I'm not being hit by somebody who doesn't have a driver's license. Those of you who are not here yet and you want to get a driver's license, you can do so before you get to the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. You can apply online. We have our
e-platform.
That's right. And it's www.police.kn. You can apply online for your 7-day or your 90 days driver's license before you get into our shows. And for the public, please adhere to the regulations, the laws, the policies that we have in place, our guidelines. Like Mr. Maguire said earlier, let us have respect for the security officers, whether they're police officers, they're defense force, volunteers, private security. We're all working together. It's a teamwork. And we are not just only making security look good, but we're making the whole of Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis looking good, because remember that we are out there, and we want to continue for persons just to be proud of the the work that we've been doing here. And Music Festival team has been doing a good job, and so we want to continue to make them looking good with this event.
I have every confidence that we are going to have a very well secured and safe venue, and people, the experience is going to be like no other.
Yes.
And I'm sure, because we will do our best to ensure that the patrons are safe, their accessibility, and they can go and really be entertained as they desire. But we really want to continue to encourage all drivers to obey the traffic signs, the restrictions in place, exercise caution when traveling, especially in areas where it's heavily for pedestrian. And let's continue to make the event a safe event. Let's continue to make the music festival experience and a one that is memorable and incident free. And we know that I have confidence that we are going to do everything to ensure that this music festival is one like no other.
And one thing we didn't mention, Mr. Maguire, before we leave, is the Child Month March is on Friday, and that is a big event.
Right.
And so we motorists, please to try to use less of certain areas in Bastille, so that the pedestrians can have a good time, making sure that the children have a good march. And so walk more and drive less. Friday is a big day for music festival. It's a big day for the country, and so let us all be safe. Have yourself a good day.
Until next time, when we have another round of policing with you, enjoy the rest of your day.